Okay, after we have used a recycler view to display our data into a list, let's take a look at WebView component. So a WebView is actually a UI component to render website pages. As its name suggests, it renders a website. It is quite similar to an in-app browser, but it is much simplified. And hybrid apps use this technique or technology to be able to render the contents of the application. So we will try to use a web view. If you recall, in our application we have a read more button. If it is clicked, then we will open an in-app browser to a IMDb entry for that particular movie. Okay, let's create a new empty activity and name it movie web activity. At this stage, I hope you remember how to actually create a new activity. So I don't need to explain it to you each time we create a new activity. Okay, and name it movie web activity. Then drag and drop a web view component, make it full screen, give it ID web view. Okay, let's do that. Let's just search for the web view. This one. Okay, make it full screen. I constrain it to all the 4 directions, and I don't want margins, even just 1 dp. Width, match constraint, height, match constraint, and the ID is web view. Okay. Now, we have some problem here. If you remember, on the movie class, there is an IMDb URL field. It stores the IMDb address for the movie. And we will send this URL in an intent, so the movie web activity can read it. So the intent is created when we click this read more button. So do we need to create an on-click listener for this button? Of course. If not, then nothing happens like currently. So where to actually add this listener? Within the movie adapter class, because it's the only one who has access to this card layout. Now this is the problem. Recall that the intent constructor requires a context object. Usually we can simply pass this into the first argument for the intent constructor. Or sometimes we pass a application context. But this can only be done when we create the intent within an activity. But now we create it in the movie adapter class, and it is not an activity, so we cannot pass this. This will actually refer to our movie adapter class instead, and it is not a context. So how to solve it? Then we will pass the context as a constructor, as a field to the constructor of the movie adapter class. Okay, let's do it. Now, because we will append IMDb URL to an intent, that means that we need to use a put extra function. I hope you remember about intent and how to put extras. So we require a constant. Let's create it on the global now. Okay, add a new constant in the global or mine in global data. I will put it over here. File extra. What is it called? Oh, it is called a movie web, but you can name it as you wish. Usually I will call it extra IMDb URL, and the value is also up to you. As you can see here, I created a constant movie web, but the value is movie URL. The value is not necessarily the same as the constant name. Okay, I will name it just IMDb URL then. Yeah, now go to the movie adapter, okay, right here, and we will pass context here, context, and the type is also an context. Yeah, leave it as it is. Then in the main activity, or not main activity, but the movie list activity, yeah, we will have an error over here because we must pass the movie list activity. Yeah, but now if you pass this, then it is not correct. Yeah, why? Because I use a with block. Yeah, if you take a look at Android Studio, yeah, Android Studio actually hints us that this refers to recycler view, yeah, not the movie list activity. Yeah, so for you who use with block like me, yeah, we must modify this calling, yeah, by doing something like this. Yeah, I will retype this, and Android Studio will actually suggest two theses. Yeah, the first this refers to the recycle view as to the with block. Yeah, and the second this refers to the movie list activity. Yeah, we want to pass the movie list activity, so select the second one. Yeah, so if you use with block, yeah, the correct way to provide the context is like this. Yeah, this add movie list activity. Yeah, but if you don't use with block, then you can safely pass this, yeah, as this will refer to the movie list activity. Okay, now go back to the movie adapter KT because we need to add the listener for the read more button. Okay, movie adapter over here, and I will add a new line within my with block, and let's see what is the name of my button. Oh, button more. Yeah, button more dot set on click listener as usual. We will create an intent. Yeah, file in intent equals to intent. Then we will pass the context, and we want to open a movie web activity class Java as usual. Yeah, and we want to put the extra. Yeah, I can use the scope function. Yeah, we can use apply, but we can also use also. Yeah, let's just call put. Oh, sorry, I don't think I will use also. Yeah, although some people will complain to me because I'm using this incorrectly, but usually I will change it with apply. Yeah, I can put extra here with the key is from global data dot extra IMDb URL, and I will pass the movie IMDb URL. Then I can start a new activity. Start activity. So we must call it from the context. Yeah, context start activity by passing this intent. Yeah, and then I think that's all. In the movie web activity, yeah, we must set something. Yeah, we must set the web view to open the URL. Yeah, so let's go to the movie web activity over here. Yeah, and let's take a look at this code first. Yeah, we will get the IMDb URL from the intent, getting extra as usual, and then for the web view, yeah, we call the web view client, yeah, by instantiating a new object. Yeah, WebView client is required to load the URL in our application. Yeah. If not, then the Android will open it in an external browser, for example, like Chrome, yeah, or Samsung Internet, yeah, or everything else. Yeah, to prevent that, then we provide a new WebView client. Then we will load the URL, yeah, simply by calling the load URL function, and then for by default, the JavaScript is disabled in WebView. Yeah. If we want to enable JavaScript, then just use this. Yeah, WebView.settings.javascript enabled equals to true. Okay, let's get it. Yeah, file imdb URL equals to. I will type it like this. Yeah, imdb URL equals to the intent get string extra. The key is from global data extra imdb URL. Then with my WebView, I can set the WebView client equals to a new WebView client, and I will load the URL from this imdb URL. Yeah, let's just call to string. Yeah, although if you notice here, the imdb URL should be string, right? Yeah, actually it is not. Yeah. If you hover your mouse, yeah, you will see that my imdb URL is actually a string question mark. Yeah, maybe I have not explained it to you, but a type followed by a question mark is actually a nullable one. Yeah, so my imdb URL is possible to be null. Yeah, that's why the type is string question mark. Yeah, or usually I call it string nullable. Now, the load URL requires a string. Okay, let me retype it. Yeah, as you can see here, the load URL requires a string, but my imdb URL is string nullable. Yeah, so then Kotlin will complain, cannot cast or type mismatch. The required one is string, but found string nullable. Yeah, the easiest way for now is to just cast this imdb URL to string. Yeah, but later, I think in the 8th week, yeah, and it's not actually next week because next week it's a midterm for the Ubaya student. Yeah, so at the 8th week, we will learn more about null. Yeah, for now, just provide to string. Yeah, just convert the string nullable to string. And for the settings dot JavaScript enabled, let's set it to true. Okay, yeah, I think that's all. Let's try it. Yeah, if everything works fine, then when we click read more for any movie, then our application will open in-app browser, yeah, to display the IMDb entry. Yeah, let's see. For Interstellar, I'll click read more, and let's wait a bit. Hopefully, it will be loaded. Yeah, if you take a look at the netmeter, yeah, it is downloading something, but there is nothing displayed on my application. Oh well, let me try to open the IMDb first, yeah, to check if it's not my internet. Let's see. For Interstellar, okay, I will try to open the IMDb manually. Oh, it can be opened. So let me take a look at the logcat. Maybe I have some errors. I don't think I have errors. Okay, let me try to open something else then. This one. Okay, yeah, so it's only my internet then. Yeah, as you can see here, now I can take a look at the IMDb entry for Gravity. Yeah, let's try it again for Alien Covenant. If I read more, yeah, because there is no visible indicator for the loading, then I can only guess for now. Yeah, I think it's my internet then. Yeah, hopefully your internet works fine. Yeah, instead of my internet. Yeah, so hopefully you will see the IMDb entry for that movie. Yeah? Oh, well then. Okay, let's continue. Oh, yeah, and that's all about WebView. Yeah, so it's easy to use. Yeah, just pass URL to the WebView, then set a new WebView client, and that's all. Yeah. Don't forget to enable JavaScript when needed. Okay, in the third video, we will learn about alert dialog. Yeah, this is used to, yeah, as it suggests, yeah, as its name suggests, we can use this to alert the user. Alert about what? We will take a look at the next video.